Good afternoon, students. So, we'll be continuing with our chapter 3, that is digital economy and digital organization. So, the chapter has covered topics such as digital economy, advantages of digital economy, cashless transactions, and digital revolution. Disadvantages: India is building the infrastructure for a truly digital economy, digital organization, the seven traits of effective digital enterprises. So these are the different topics which we'll be covering under digital economy. First will be, there are two sections like digital economy, then digital organization. So first we'll be going with digital economy. So for that, we'll see what is digital economy first. What is digital economy? Digital economy or the internet economy is increasingly influencing our social and economic activities and even the way we live. So economy somewhere is related to money, but digitally when we are upgrading, it can be termed as social or economically. When we say they are, the we have set it as a trend of living our life, that is internet. The internet and its necessary activities including information and communication technologies have given birth to new products, services, jobs, enterprises, and even markets. So nowadays everything is possible through internet and communication technologies. We get products, we can purchase the products, we can buy different services over home for from the internet. We can go for jobs, we can work as a employee from over a internet, as well as enterprise and even market sharing is also possible through internet communication technologies. World's largest firms, Google's Alphabet, Facebook, and Amazon, are the form from the digital world only. So Facebook nowadays everybody is using. There's Amazon. There are n number of application softwares who are working with the help of digital marketing over a network. Then besides the internet and the internet of things, several new inventions are about to alter the way we live and economically engage. So only, not only internet, but internet of things, that is wherever we go there is internet. That is, we have cloud, we have drive, we have network, we have satellite, we can do Google mapping, we can locate ourselves, we can share our location. All such things are also possible through internet of things. Several new inventions are also possible nowadays, and so because of that, the way we live economically, we are engaged into that things, so we do not require any old functionings. Artificial intelligence, yes, obviously working like a robotic person. Machine to machine communication, yes, we go in an ATM machine, we just swipe up the card and we get the cash. Machine to machine communication. Sensor technologies, whenever we go in a mall or some market, they have a scanning machine so that we do not have any what we say sharp things with us, we do not have any tools with us, so that we can shop there from their market. 3D printing, 3D modulation is also possible. Then you have robotics, robots for different working. Big data, cloud computing. Nowadays you have big data analysis, that is keeping the data over data warehouses and clouds. That is also possible, indicating that the role of digital context, that is there is increasing attempts to identify the size and importance of digital economy. So digital economy is growing very fastly in terms of its output. It is giving you output within seconds. Job creation, enterprise creation, etc. So nowadays people are living with these businesses so that the increase in the economy can be done. Now, digital economy was coined in Don Tapscott's in his bestseller Digital Economy Promise and Pearl in the Age of Network Intelligence in 1995. So there are n number of people doing inventions on this over years. Then there is e-business infrastructure, e-business over media, e-commerce over goods, for example, online book sellings. Then digital economy activity results from billions to online connections among people, businesses, devices, data, and processes. So nowadays digital economy is possible everywhere, over business, people, Then you have devices, data, and processes. The backbone of digital economy is thus hyperconnectivity, which creates interconnectedness of people, organizations, and machines that are based on internet. So internet is the first person to connect all these things. Mobile technologies also are connected with this, and as well embedded systems, that is combination of your hardwares and softwares. For sensor technology also, for exchanging of data we use such technology. Smart devices, you have physical devices. All such things are possible for automation in the digital economy world. Now the next is advantages of digital economy: cashless transaction and digital revolution. So this is only an advantage of digital economy what we can do. The first one is cashless transactions. Now cashless transaction is only possible with white money, which renders the black economy untenable. So what happens is, white money is the money which you do not have, which is not in terms of wrong conception. So white money cashless transaction means one to one transaction with authentication and authorized, can be termed as cashless transactions. And as well as, now cashless transaction will help India get rid of these perennial problems, because in financial institution based economy there is always transaction trials, which make it extremely difficult to avoid taxes. So with the help of these white money, what we can do is, we can go for cashless transactions, through which we can show our taxes as well. Then real estate prices would drop considerably, because of a huge share of black money is invested in this sector, which inflates the prices in the real estate market. So your building construction markets, real estate markets, what happens is, your black money is a lot invested, and they cannot show any of the proof for such type of money. So this can be termed out from real estate with the help of digital economy. They have to show their data entries over the transactions what they have done. So next is the expenditure. The expenditure incurred by the RBI in printing notes would be considerably reduced. Obviously when you have cashless transactions, you do not have to go with the physical money. So that is also been printing also is being reduced, because of which, then drug trafficking, terrorist financing, money laundering, and many such activities are carried out only in cash. So such wrong things are also done in cash transactions. So cashless transactions would make this operations also impossible for the criminals. Then cashless transactions can be easily monitored by the government, which will enhance revenue collection and consequently increase the funds to carry out development activities. So cashless transactions can also help the government to monitor the data, to monitor the money over revenue collection. That is, revenues, the taxes are being made or not, people are paying their funds or not properly. The citizens would no longer have to carry liquid cash with them. They do not have to carry physical cash on, just with the help of sufficient to carry cards, tablets, and mobiles, they could go move anywhere for digital transactions. Digital transactions are being made available in even ordinary mobile phones. Nowadays we can do payments through different apps on our mobile, that is smartphones. As well as, you can go with one card click, and just with the UPI pin you can just do the payments. That is also possible. So this is one advantage. Next advantage is, the majority of election funding in India is made through black money. So cutting the political spectrum through cashless transactions can also be done. Black money can be directly turned into white money. Then counterfeit currency that is pumped into India to wage an economic war. So counterfeit currency means the wrong currency being put out forward, can be waged somewhere, stopped, and eliminated by cashless society, so that it can help the people, poor people, to come out with a uh, somewhere solution to get them more and more income over their work. The next is Disadvantages of digital economy, cashless transaction and digital revolution. So the first one is poverty. Many poor people do not have bank accounts. So people, if they are not employed, if they are illiterate, they do not have a bank account. Although the Jan Dhan scheme launched by the government succeeded in bringing millions into banking system. Yes, the Jan Dhan scheme by the government had given an authority to all that they will have a separate bank account of their own, rather if they are a citizen of India or even not, but they will have a bank account of their own for a saving. Then if even if they have that is residential proof of Maharashtra, out of Maharashtra, even though they could have an account in the bank. That was Jan Dhan scheme launched by the government. Because of that, what happened, the poor people also marginalized the section into the bank system so that they can save some amount of money of their own, rather than keeping that money with them and not showing it to anybody and have a heavy losses if the currency changes. Then the small retailers in India deal with only in cash, have not been able to. Small retailers who do not show their business as a organization, they also face problems because of digital infrastructure, because they cannot go to invest small amounts in the bank and paying interest over those amounts. So the taxes and surcharges and fees charged on digital transaction need to be made liberal in order to encourage the people who are to adopt the practices. People earning on day-to-day basis cannot afford the interests and charges paid on their amount over the bank, so they do not try to invest the money. So such people also should be helped to make or liberal ideas should be made for such people to think about them to make a proper digital revolution. Next is hacking and cyber theft. So, grave dangers that plague the digital world, who try to intrude the data from the digital worlds, try to steal the data and information and money from the digital world as well. So this is a challenge also. Cyber criminal get possessions of the victim's phone. So from cyber nowadays have the charge. Cyber law is made so strict that they can check from which IPs they have been tracking the data. Awareness among the people should be made educated enough, or they should be given an proper instruction to use such online payment methods and cards as well. Majority of people prefer cash as a convenient method, but people should be made as an awareness that yes, if you go card hold if you have cashless transactions, this could be an easy method of usage while traveling or while at home as well. So cashless society can be a challenge for the government with a higher population. So this is one solution which can be done. So for this particular lecture we'll stop here, and then we'll continue in the next lecture with two different more topics. Thank you.